Practically, very, very high on the scale, 9++, because nothing in life is perfect except you. All right, we're back. And now I have some exciting A-flat/G sharp fingerings for y'all. So let's get into it. Now we should be able to play a G at this point, and you guys remember how that went? X4 and TA. There is a very close relative to that fingering. That's going to be lift your fourth finger, leave TA down, and then put down G sharp. All right? That's going to sound like this. And then we can always do that exercise, building through the front keys to get to that G sharp. Okay, how would I rank this fingering? As far as practicality, I would say this is a 9 because you have so many fingers available to you. Tuning-wise, this one to me is neutral. It's pretty well in tune. Again, when I talk about tuning with a fingering, you can make anything sound in tune, but just the fingering default, the way it is, it's kind of in the middle. This fingering is not very reliable. It's a little stuffy, and as I've described before, when you're going up the front keys, it gets progressively harder. So front E is the easiest, and then I would argue that front G sharp is the hardest. And so here's front G sharp in a scale and an arpeggio. Next on our list is 1, 3, and C. All right. Wow. Practicality. 9+. You have lots of fingers available. It's basically like fingering a G without the middle finger. As far as pitch, as you can tell, it's quite sharp. Very sharp fingering. But if you're the kind of person that has a softer setup or likes to play a little bit more open, then this is the fingering for you. Check it out. It's very responsive, very clarion. Is that a word? Does that make sense to you guys? It really shouts out of the instrument. As far as reliability, it's kind of in the middle. Not technically in my rating scale, I gave it a 7. Once you figure out what to do with your mouth, it's reliable. But until then, you're going to be struggling. Next on our list is the Ted Nash tenor saxophone fingering. I really like this one. I don't use it very often, but maybe you will. The fingering goes as such. 2 and 4. Okay, and that's going to give us a nice A flat. Obviously, this video's on A flats. Jeez. You can also add 6 to that. Brings the pitch down a little bit. Practically, very, very high on the scale, 9++, because nothing in life is perfect except you. Pitch-wise, it's quite sharp, so use with extreme caution. But boy is it clear, and boy is it reliable, and you don't have to do much fuss to get there. Not bad. Not bad at all. The next fingering is going to be 1, side C, aka TC. We call it TC in this house. Come on, be consistent, Sean. And C5. Sharp, as you can tell by the pitch. However, very practical, very easy to get to. Reliable, yes, I would say so. It's very clear speaking. So on the practicality side, I gave it a 7. On the reliability scale, it also got a 7. A very decent fingering. it makes me wonder, what if we used a fingering from the previous video? What if we used 1 and C5 and played that same scale? I think it would go a lot better. What do you know? A lot better. Next on our list, 1, 4, C5, TC. Very reliable, very clear, very sharp. We're going to give it a 7 on the practicality scale, and we'll also give it a 7 on the reliability scale. 7 plus, 7 plus plus. Next on our list is the Nyman. So that's going to be fingered 1, TA, G sharp, and C5. If you couldn't tell already, that fingering's pretty darn flat. On the practicality scale, I would give it a 7. You still got a lot of fingers available to you. Reliability, it's very stable. It's very easy to make speak. It's very related to crunch. So maybe if you're a fan of crunch G, you could make a scale out of that and relate it to this Nyman fingering. So let's hear those in context. Next on our list is the classic 1, 3, 4, TC. And you have the option of adding 6 and any of the pinky keys, really. Let's hear that one in context. Practically speaking, this is a very good fingering. I'm going to give it an 8, 8 plus. Second to last on the list is going to be triangle G sharp. All right, so triangle is when you make a triangle with TC, TA, and 4, okay? And as I explained in another video, you have all these altissimo notes available to you once you have that triangle down. That G sharp, practically speaking, a little bit lower on the list just because it takes up so much of your right hand. So we're going to give it a 6. Pitch-wise, it's a little bit sharp. I would say neutral to sharp. On a reliability scale, I'm going to give it a 6 to 8. And it really depends on the model of your horn. I remember this was a lot easier when I played on a Selmer. But on this instrument, it's a little less reliable. Last but not least, and a little bit of story time. So I used to play a very hard setup when I played for many, many hours a day. I used to play with so much tension that there was really no chance for me to play altissimo anything but sharp. So all my fingerings kind of just reflected that and brought all the pitch down. So this last fingering is reflects that setup that I used to have and that approach that I used to take. 1, 2, 4, TC, C sharp. I call this an arrival fingering, and maybe you'll see why in a second. Not bad actually. So on a practicality scale, we're going to give it a solid 8. You can do a lot from this position and get to this position from a lot of places. Pitch, quite flat. Reliability, I'm going to give it a 4 because this is my scale. It bugs me a little bit when you make a 1 to 10 scale and then you never dip below 3. It's not like I'm going to hurt the fingering's feelings. So we're going to give this a solid 1.5 on the reliability scale. There you go. Take that, fingering that I invented. So again, arrival fingering, because it's really easy to arrive there. It's a lot harder to get there by interval or to dip down to it or basically do anything but just kind of play the note or like have it be the last note in your scale. So there you have it. Those are all my fingerings for A flat and G sharp. If you found something valuable here, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below, shoot me a question. I would love to have a Q&A again. So if there are any fingerings that you liked or disliked, go ahead and let me know. Next on our series, can you guess it? Is going to be A. A is one of my favorite fingerings to talk about, and I think you'll see why in a little bit. See you next time.